the center of the north, but it's also been very cosmopolitan in that sense. And maybe they want to make a statement that's the terrorists. But also what it indicates is that the government is basically incapable of stopping them.
El-Rufai didn't get that message clearly from the start. Maybe he felt it was child's play or something.
Well, maybe he did, but at least he's been able to identify. In fact, if you look at geolocation, whatever it's called, that you can locate where the terrorists are, they know where the terrorists are exactly, precisely. But the government...
They know where they are.
Yes, they know where they are. If you look at the geolocation, I don't know whether that is what it's called, but you can locate where people... when they record videos, you can link it to time, you can link it to date, and of course you can link it to location. But for some reason, they've been unable to take them out. And I think that's one of the frustrations, recent frustrations of El-Rufai. But I think what's also surprising is that this is going on, and campaign season is going on as normal. It's just normal. We've taken it as the new normal, that people are kidnapped, people are killed, people are maimed, and that these terrorists make demands from the government and nothing happens to them. To us in Nigeria, it's the new normal, which is rather unfortunate.
Are they government-sponsored?
Well, there's some people who say that. I'm not sure that they're government-sponsored. Are they government-enabled? That might be another question. I just think that the lethargy of the government and the inability of the government to focus and to get a grip has given them the permission to strike and to strike at will.
All right, Prof. Out of the Punch newspaper this morning, security agents aiding bandits, alleged reps demand NSA minister's sacking. Now, basically, the legislators are alleging that security agents are aiding criminals. They've also said that huge security funds are not being justified.
Well, they're not being justified because if you are pumping billions and we still have these terrorists and whatever you call them running rings around the security forces, then of course it makes sense. The legislature seem to know more than I do, and their suggestion is that there's a conspiracy or connection between them and some of the criminals. May not be terrorists, but some of the criminals. But we've known for years that some of these criminals, armed robbers and so on, get their sophisticated weaponry from some rogue officers, police officers, and so on and so forth. Whether it's as widespread as is indicated by the legislators, it's going to be a matter for investigation. It needs to be investigated. It needs to be taken seriously. And the NSA advisor asks serious questions to answer.
Do you think the minister in question should be sacked?
Well, if you're talking about the NSA advisor, he's been there for long, hasn't he? I think they should rejig it and get somebody fresh. Because, you see, you can't continue to use the same persons expecting different results. He hasn't been able to show much imagination. He hasn't been able to change, a game changer. He hasn't been able to do that. So I think the president should consider, But there are some people who suggest that this government, 13 months to its end, may have given up on governance.
Do we have a weak military now?
Well, the
discouraged military.
The military is as strong as the political leadership. We have a weak political leadership. We have a discouraged political leadership, and it's permeating to the military. The military can only be as strong as the political leadership and direction that it gets. They're not getting strong, firm political leadership and direction. They're not being encouraged, inspired. Therefore, they're not as strong as they possibly can be.
So terrorism is having a field day.
Well, there have been some successes in Northeast, so let's not be too pessimistic.
But what about Kaduna?
Well, it's a new terrain, isn't it? You deal with them in the southeast, they move where? They move to the center, not central. Northeast.
Northeast, yeah.
They move to the north central. So what has happened is that they've been dislodged, and they've even been dislodged from Sambisa Forest. But that's not been the end of them. They've moved, and they've into a bloody
alliance. They're bringing the fight down to the military base.
Yes.
And that means something.
Yes. So that's why it's been very strategic. In fact, in my analysis earlier, I didn't mention the fact that most of our military command staff, called Jaji, and the Defense Academy, and so many other very important strategic military formations are actually there. And it seems as if, yes, they're taking the battle to them.
What about the destruction of infrastructure, the rail lines and the airport and all that?
Well, again, that's to disable us and handicap us economically, but also to show that if you do not accede to their demands, they will go and they will make sure that the Nigerian state is not able to function.
Will there be an election next year?
Oh, I certainly think there will be an election. I've got my register for my PVC, and I hope many people are doing that. There will be an election. What is certain is that we can't continue like this. We can't continue with lethargy. We can't continue with a lack of direction. We can't continue with violence on this scale.
Okay, we'll take some messages right now, and when we come back, we're taking a look at some of the other security issues and a bunch of other issues coming out of the newspapers this morning.
Máa ṣe ara àwọn ọmọ rẹ lóore pẹ̀lú oúnjẹ òwúrọ̀ àti mílìkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456 tó ní àlékún DHA èyí tó ń ṣàtìlẹ́yìn fún ìdàgbàsókè ọpọlọ tó jí pépé.
Dàgbà kó lágbára kó sì jáfáfá pẹ̀lú mílìkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456 lójoojúmọ́.
Ǹlẹ́ o alábàágbé mi mo ní kí n wá bẹ̀yìn wò ni. Ìyá Bíọ́lá àlàáfíà la wà. Ẹ ṣeun. Mo kọ yín kọ̀ wọ́n wà. Ẹ̀yin náà ńkọ́.
Kódà ìyá mi lábúlé gan wà lálàáfíà. Ìyá Bíọ́lá ṣé kò sí?
Mẹ́wòó ìtasọ́sọ́ jọ̀lọ́ọ̀fù yín ò jẹ́ rí mú mi o ni mo bá ní wá fọwọ́ ara mi tún ara mi ṣe.
Ẹ wọlé wá jẹ́wọ́ jàre.
Àgbéyẹ̀fun ìsẹ̀bẹ̀ ọ̀ngá jọ̀lọ́ọ̀fù tuntun dé o. Ohun ìsẹ̀bẹ̀ tó ń fúnrẹ́sì jọ̀lọ́ọ̀fù yín lójúlówó adùn àti ìtasọ́sọ́ jọ̀lọ́ọ̀fù tí ò ṣeé kọ̀ sílẹ̀.
Onga, Mama's helping hand.
Hello, where are you?
I'm coming. I'm very close.
Quick, we're going for a full spa session afterwards. My treat.
Spa indeed. You that complained of being broke just last week.
Well, that was before I won a 150,000 naira gift card in the Zenith Better Life promo season 2.
That's right. Zenith Bank is giving away gifts worth 150,000 naira each to 20 lucky customers every 2 weeks in the Zenith Better Life promo season 2. To qualify, open a Zenith Bank account and maintain a minimum of 5,000 naira for a month. Request, collect, and activate your Zenith Bank debit card, physical or virtual. Then register for *966# or Zenith Mobile Banking. What's more, 5 mega winners also get gifts worth 500,000 naira every quarter. This promo is open to new and existing account holders from February 1st, 2022 to January 31st, 2023. Terms and conditions apply. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Hey, put a spotlight on me. Now let me tell you this. I used to care for the world's opinion.
And I used to fear their rejection.
Omo, I used to beg for validation.
And I used to wait to be seen.
But now, no more.
No more.
No more.
Because my time.
My time?
My time.
My own time is now. So what are you waiting for?
Amstel Malta. Be your best.
Uncle Dentist, what be cavities and how Colgate take they protect my teeth from cavities? Shey they use Comfort?
No dear, na hole for teeth they cause most tooth pains will be cavity. But if you use Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, take brush every day. The confirmed formula could help keep natural calcium inside our teeth. We could protect them from tooth decay.
Time don't reach to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate. Because Colgate locks calcium in.
Yes, cavities out!
And the Nigerian Dental Association, they recommend Colgate.
Irú èyí ò ṣẹlẹ̀ rí o. Ó mà lé ní mílíọ̀nù kan ènìyàn tí ìjọba ilẹ̀ Canada ti pinnu láti gbà láàyè kó wá gbé kó sì máa ṣiṣẹ́ ní orílẹ̀-èdè náà. Ṣùgbọ́n o, ọ̀lẹ ò lè gbẹ́lu wa làṣà tíjọba ilẹ̀ Canada ń dá. Ẹni tó bá lè ṣiṣẹ́ nìkan ni wọ́n ń wá. Jonathan King Limited ti ṣetán láti ràn ọ́ lọ́wọ́ láti di ọmọ onílẹ̀ lórílẹ̀-èdè náà bí o bá jẹ́ akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́, oníṣẹ́ ọwọ́ àbí akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ gboyè. Bó sì jẹ́ o fẹ́ lọ kàwé ní orílẹ̀-èdè Canada wà lára orílẹ̀-èdè tó dára tó sì rọjú jùlọ láti kàwé lágbàáyé. O lè jẹ́ akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kó sì tún máa ṣiṣẹ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni àǹfààní owó ìrànwọ́ wà àti ètò ẹ̀yáwó kàwé tí kò lélẹ̀ nú. Tètè lọ gba fọ́ọ̀mù tiẹ̀ ní Jonathan King Limited, Àjàkíní àti Ìkẹfà, Cocoa House, Ìbàdàn. Àjàkíní, God's Grace Plaza, 65 Allen Avenue, Ìkẹjà. Àti The Bronx Bookshop lẹ́bàá Our Saviour's Cathedral, Ìjẹ̀bú Òde.
Ọjọ́ 21 oṣù kẹrin ọdún yìí ni ìforúkọsílẹ̀ yìí ó wá sópin o.
Aisha ọ̀rẹ́ mi, mo máa ṣe pásítà àǹtí bíi tó nífẹ̀ẹ́ yẹn. Wọ́n darapọ̀ mọ́ wa fún iftar.
Ó ṣeun ọ̀rẹ́ mi, Allah yóò san oore náà padà fún ọ o.
Ní àwọn ìbùkún àkókò yìí pẹ̀lú àwọn oúnjẹ tí ó dùn tí a ṣe pẹ̀lú àǹtí bíi pásítà.
Zainabu, ṣáìṣá nìkan ló pè ní.
Ó yá ìwọ náà darapọ̀ mọ́ wa.
Yan ohun tó dára jù fún ẹbí rẹ ní àsìkò Ramadan yìí nípa bíbẹ̀rẹ̀ àwẹ̀ rẹ kí o sì ṣínú pẹ̀lú àwọn èrò ọjà àǹtí bíi tó ládùn. Àǹtí bíi àṣàyàn tó dára.
Màámi, kí ni ìdí tá fi ń ṣe Ramadani?
Àkókò láti súnmọ́ Ọlọ́run ni àti àkókò láti ṣe ohun tó dára fún ọmọ ẹnìkejì wa.
Ṣé ìdí nìyẹn tá fi ń fáwọn alábàágbé wa lóúnjẹ nígbà iftar?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
Ṣé mo lè pe gbogbo àwọn ọmọ kíláàsì mi láti wá jẹ gbádùn bọ́ǹfìtà nígbà iftar?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o lè pè wọ́n.
gbé ìgbésẹ̀ ìfikún lórí ohun pínpín ní àkókò yìí bí Cadbury Bonvita ṣe ń fún yín ní àlékún 50 gram lórí gbogbo 450 gram ìpolówó àpò alátùnrọ̀ Bonvita tí o bá rà. Bonvita kún fún oríṣi vitamins àti minerals láti fún ara yín ní okun tí ẹ nílò ní àsìkò yìí. Bonvita, agbára fún ìpinnu.
Welcome back. 32 FM 94.9. The program is Bricadoni's Paper Review, and Professor Jadoko is still much here, answering questions and reacting to some of the headlines we have today.
All right, the president has reacted to the Northern Elvers having called for his resignation. He says that he won't resign saboteurs after his government. Now, the resignation calls, do you think that's a solution to the security problems we have in the country, or what's your take?
Well, initially, the Northern Elders were one of his most vociferous, most consistent backers. And I think it's been an upset that all of a sudden those that have backed him, at least for 5 of the 7 or so years that he's been in government, have now turned their backs on him. These are elite of the North. They're not ragtag, and they're not inconsequential people. Past civil servants, past politicians, past captains of industry. So their opinion must count for something. The government's reaction, of course, is predictable. It's not going to resign. What I would have expected from the government, anyway, is to respond to them by coming up with action, absolute action, and pointing to the fact that they have a roadmap to get us out of the present quagmire. But they haven't done that. What they've just done is just responded and to say they wouldn't resign. The reality of it is that many people feel, and I beginning to think that this government has given up on governance, and that this next 13 months we are going to have to put on our seatbelts, hold on tight, because it doesn't seem, in terms of imagination, in terms of vision, in terms of action, none of it is coming together.
You're saying we're just going to have to sit and watch as the current government bids their time.
Yes.
Basically just...
In other words, they're lame dog.
Just wait it out.
In other words, they're lame dog. I mean, usually in the last 12 months of any government, they're lame dog. But they are even lamer now. They're lamer because basically people are tired. Even those in government are tired because it seems as if solutions are defying them. So, yes, what other alternative do we have? You can't even protest, so forget about that. You really just have to pray that whoever is coming after this government will be able to lift us out of the quagmire. And the unfortunate thing is that some of the contestants are saying they will continue, what this government has started or not started, and that I think is discouraging.
All right, corruption, weak judiciary, fuel impunity in Nigerian army, SSS, police. That's a statement from the U.S. government. The U.S. government says impunity and corruption, among other vices, are major drivers of impunity in Nigeria's security service, including the police, the State Security Service, and the Army. The government spoke through the Department of State and stated that in its 2021 annual country reports on human rights practices, the report covered many issues, including civil and human rights, corruption in the public sector, and impunity in Nigeria's security architecture. Now, don't we know that we have issues of corruption and all this?
I think we know that, but it's coming from the U.S. now, and they're trying to validate what many of people already know. You see what happened to Shibore? For about 3 years, or is it 2 years or so, illegal actions were taken against him. They stopped him from going abroad. They restricted him to Abuja. All manner of draconian measures against him on the basis that he had committed treasonable felony or treasonable
we are
acts.
in a democratic...
Yes, we're in a democratic act. The judiciary, of course, has overturned all that. They've asked them to pay him damages, and, of course, the restrictions have been lifted. So that gives, credence to that. And then the way that they've gone after people like Kanu, who Kanu was kidnapped, really. That's what it appears. There is no evidence of any extradition. There's no evidence of following the law. All those sort of things point to the fact that we have a weak judiciary. It also points to the fact that there might be some collusion in government. And so I'm not surprised with what the U.S. is coming up with. Our judiciary needs to be strong. Military also needs to be able to follow the rule of law, not so much the military, but the DSS and all those bodies. The fact that we criticize Muhammadu Buhari does not mean we are against the Nigerian state. It doesn't mean we want to sabotage his government. It means we want a better government, we want a better Nigerian state, and that's the way democracy works. We improve from day to day.
Has the Buhari government been unreceptive to criticisms?
Well, a lot of Nigerian governments have been unreceptive, but I think particularly here it's become very pronounced on
But
the
during
government.
Goodluck Jonathan's time, Buhari was one of the loudest voice to campaign against the government of Jonathan.
Yes, he would, wouldn't he? He was in opposition and he wanted to get into office.
But Buhari wouldn't want any of that.
No, he doesn't want any of it. He's Minister of Justice, Attorney General. You understand? Brooks no criticism. Yes, Malami brooks no criticism at all. And when you go against the government, you understand, even in measured tones, sometimes you are liable, to be picked up. It's not widespread. I'm not saying it's widespread, but there are people who have been picked up on that basis.
Well, Lai Mohammed was supposed to know better.
It was, because 24/7, when they were in opposition, it was always railing against the Jonathan governments and the excesses of the Jonathan government.
Now tables have turned.
Tables have turned. He's in office, he's in power, so-called, and he's the mouthpiece of the government. You will say he has no choice because that is his job. But if he's a man of conscience, some will suggest, then why shouldn't he resign if he doesn't believe in what the government is doing?
Is Garba Shehu still in government?
Well, it's still there.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. We've been. Well, I think if you go on Twitter, I think once or twice he's made some comments. He's amplified the position of the government, but it's really been a while. So you begin to wonder. As I said, people are tired. People have been at it for 7 years. It's coming to 8 years, and I think some people are winding down because the frenetic pace of governance, you understand, especially when you're not getting results, can be quite frustrating.
Okay, Prof. Before we go on the break this morning, I'd like to take your views on intelligence and the fact that we don't act on intelligence. We, of course, have this recent news coming out of the Punch newspaper. A member of the House of Representatives saying that intelligence on the location of terrorists, of course, that's talking about the latest Plateau attacks, hundreds of persons killed in Plateau State and all of that. No action was taken on that. What's the point of having intelligence when you don't take action?
Well, I think you asked the question. The reality of it is that even if you know where armed robbers, bandits, or whatever you call them are, the exact location analysis, to take them out, you're going to need sustained equipment, you're going to need logistics, you're going to need cooperation with the forces, the armed forces, and of course internal security. And I'm not sure that they've got their act together. So yes, we've got the intelligence, but I'm not sure that we have the know-how, the backup, even sometimes the equipment. And you ask yourself, why won't we have the equipment when a lot of money has been expended over the years? That's where the commanders have to answer questions. So I would say that the Army Chief, the DSS Director, and those in charge have a lot of questions to answer. Because if we have location and if we have intelligence and you can do nothing about it, then why bother, from that point of view? So they know where they are, and maybe they're planning, because sometimes when they're planning, they don't let people know what is going to happen. So maybe they're in the process of planning, and maybe we should give them the benefit of doubt. But you ask the question, how long are we going to give them the benefit of doubt for? If you have relatives there in Kaduna being kidnapped and so on, you're not going to ask for benefit of doubt. You want action, and you want it now.
All right, let's take a break right now. We'll take some messages, and when we come back, we'll be taking a look at, of course, your reactions and some other issues out of the papers.
32 FM
94.9.
Are you sick in your body?
He was blind, he came here completely blind.
Really?
Actually, Pastor was in the faith clinic. He was one of those in the faith clinic.
He has started to see.
He has started to see gradually.
Christ Embassy Ibadan Zone 1 presents Healing and Miracle Sunday with Pastor Joe Agbaje.
She came here carrying, the pastor they carried her here.
The Healing and Miracle Sunday is a one-day power-packed Easter program designed to bring you the divine touch of God right where you desire a healing or miracle. The venue is Christ Embassy Church along Christ Embassy Road, National Council for Women's Society Estate by Bible Guest House, Samonda, Ibadan. The time, 8:30 a.m. prompt. If you require a miracle for yourself or loved one, you can register for our faith clinic by visiting the church auditorium or call the number 070-1484-8902. There's a miracle waiting for you.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
All right, welcome back. We have lots of comments on our Facebook page, 32FM 949 Ibadan. Of course, the YouTube page. Sulaiman Sharif, good morning to 32 FM crew and analysts in the studio. For the sad news, abduction today, terrorist attack tomorrow, bandits strike again. Please, do we have a government in Nigeria? Question mark. If yes, that means APC federal government are not ready to value human lives that are lost every day. Insensitive government which are uncaring about human lives. Sulaiman Sharif from Onara local government. Miriam Afolabi from Odejayi. Is it that the Northerners did something bad that prompted the several attacks on them, or is it that the president is not capable to secure their lives? We keep hearing of series of attacks that claims people's life, not living out our security personnel's life. Why does the president and his vice find it difficult to tackle the issue of insecurity? If care is not taken, this whole thing will escalate to other states. The president under APC-led administration should see to the issue of insecurity in all the 36 states. May God be with us in Nigeria. We have another one from Otumba Adeyanju. Good morning, newspaper review team. About the security team loopholes in the country. The government knows them, but they were not able to curtail them again, as the work of terrorism is good and beneficial to them as they move on gradually. God save Nigeria. Kafar Rapturi Adewale writes, PMB government is failing the Nigerians, but resignation is not feasible here in Nigeria. But rising to their duties at the right time is the key. Moreover, I see PYO's declaration is changed by the Northerners in power to silence Jagaban, though I don't support him. Anyway, thank you. That brings to mind, with the failure, so to speak, of the APC government, how does the APC feel, or what do they have as the master plan to convince Nigerians to vote for them?
First and foremost, we are not operating at an ideology-based politics. In other words, allegiance is not really to political parties now, but to personalities, because there's no distinguishing factor between the presidential candidates of the APC and that of the PDP. So I think they're relying on the fact that people will forget that the candidates, that the APC was in government, and that people will focus on just the candidates. I think that's what the strategy.
The candidates.
Yes, not the political party. Because if you focus on the political party...
We focused on the candidate during in 2015.
We did, didn't we? We did. But at least they claimed to be progressives. And to a certain extent, people felt they were progressive while the PDP wasn't. You know, that was the unnuanced analysis.
Now, which is better, the PDP or the APC?
I'm not sure that any of them is better. The PDP hasn't got its act together. Still, as we speak, we don't know whether zoning is going to be in place or not. So I don't think you can say that the PDP is better than the APC. There are elements. Remember that the APC is a combination of ex-PDP members and CPC and some other people. So the distinguishing mark, as I said, has always been the personality. It's not about ideology. It's not even about programs of action from that point of view. But what is clear is that Oshibajo has tied his mast, has nailed his mast firmly to that of Buhari.
Well, let's open the phone lines right now. 070 55,949, 080 97,949. Let's have your thoughts, comments, and contributions. The numbers again, 070 55,949 and 080 97,949. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Caleb Alabi from Alaka Shebo Road. I just want to comment on the statement credited to member of House of Representatives that the NSC, the National Security Advisor, and the Minister of Defense will resign their appointment. Why are the House of Representatives so timid? Instead of summoning the President to come to the House and defend himself, why there is insecurity in strategy in the country, calling the National Security Advisor and Minister to resign. That one cannot solve any problem. It's better to call the president to come and create this thing. Why the incessant killing, banditry, everything is a rampant. That's a comment this morning. Have a nice day.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning, sir. What's your name?
Yeah, Oluwasegun from Rada.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to ask doctor. I don't expect doctor to give any encomium to Professor Yemi Osibajo, because he always criticizes in the past. Good morning.
All right, Prof.
I'm not giving Oshibajo any encomiums. I think he's a very capable person, But what I'm trying to say is that he's tied himself very closely to Buhari, so it's going to be very difficult if he wins the nomination.
Well, maybe he didn't get that.
Yes. That is tied.
He's tied to the apron strings.
Yes,
of Buhari, so to detach himself would be.
Yes, if he wants to win, there are people suggesting that he needs to be independent and detach himself.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning.
Please, I will not speak in English. I will speak in Yoruba.
What's your name, sir?
Everybody here.
What's your name, sir?
Hello.
Your name, sir?
My name is Adebayo Ajibola. I'm calling at the Olumi area.
Unfortunately, the line went off. Let's take some messages from our Facebook here. Balkis or not, to be honest, demanding Baba Buhari's resignation isn't the answer because things have already spiraled out of control. Please, respected Northern elders, allow our capable President Buhari to complete his term in 2015. You backed him up, and in 2019, you supported him even more. The North is a very safe place to visit now. Terrorism and kidnapping have decreased under the Buhari administration. Northern elders should please remain silent. In Nigeria, we're enjoying. That's sarcasm.
Yes, it's laced with deep sarcasm, and I think it's unfortunate because lives are at risk here, lives, are threatened, and I don't think, sarcasm is the best one to deploy.
Okay,
Otumba Ayo Adinriola says, good morning, the paper review team about the security team loopholes in the country. The government knows them, but they're not able to curtail them again as the work terrorism is good and beneficial to them. Appreciate that one. Let's take a call.
Hello. Hello. Good morning. Morning. What's your name, please?
This is Oloyede from Olele.
Morning, Oloyede.
Doctor, please, I want you to kindly throw light to what is happening to our this machine they said they went to purchase since 2018. Because today I believe at a certain time they told us these people are not terrorists, they are bandits. But the court has declared them as bandits. And they are telling us now, we are hearing that there's no difference between these bandits and Boko Haram. And Boko Haram, we know they are terrorists. And which weapon, they say they cannot use it on them. But by now they've declared them terrorists. Why are they not using the weapon on them now? Or is it until they kill an average Nigerian? And those that are in the house that are telling us stories now, is it the security people they need to tell? The money they use in buying the machine now, did they really question the government?
The Kano jets, the jets, high-powered, high-visibility jets.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Kingsley Onwuka is my name.
You're welcome.
APC senators are begging their national party chairman for return ticket. They are now begging for return ticket while they had the opportunity to create a situation that would have made it possible for them to rely on the choice of the people in their party for their return ticket. Now they are begging their national party chairman for it. They rather chose to do a great disservice to this country by deferring to the wish of Buhari to allow for the inclusion of indirect primary option and consensus option. Now they are begging. And in fact, Adamu, their national chairman, should deny them the return ticket so that they realize what.
All right, thank you, Kingsley. Okay, good morning. Where are you calling from? What's your name?
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Please don't let us be deceiving ourselves. This present administration, under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, is not ready to do this. He is not ready to deal with the terrorists. Don't let us be deceiving ourselves. That is the truth of the matter. I'm the voice of the masses. Good morning.
All right. Hello, good morning. Okay. Let's see, we can take one or two more calls before we wrap up this morning.
Okay, in Facebook we have this one from Kafar Adewale. He says, Dangote refinery, should we be celebrating an individual refinery when Nigeria as a whole failed to resuscitate the dying refineries? More so, federal government control the security.
Jonathan was described by this government as an opposition party then as clueless. Coming back to that. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm John Justice. Thank you, Professor. let me react to the National Forum calling on Mr. President to resign. This president needs not to resign. In fact, that call is too late. It is too late to be telling the president to resign. That statement from National Forum is logical. And let me just say, it is intended what he said it is to do. It is logic stopping. They are defending themselves. They want to use it so that the next president, those who will say we told our own president to resign, those who should resign. It is logic stopping from National Forum. I'm telling you.
All right, so Jonathan was described, called names as clueless and all that. Now, do we say this government, the Buhari government, is clueless also?
I think they plumbed greater depths. I think if we could have imagined that we could have had a government worse in performance than Goodluck Jonathan, then many people wouldn't have supported Muhammadu Buhari. I think we thought the Jonathan government was worse. We thought it was bad. But I think now, people now think that the Jonathan government was actually quite good. Because compared to this government, insecurity is worse. Even the power situation, fuel situation has recovered, but it's still bad. Infrastructure, they've made some progress there, but we know that critical infrastructure, we still have some problems there. Hunger, inflation, exchange rates, investment, foreign investment indices, you understand? Borrowing.
Is the problem of Nigeria cancerous? Will it keep getting worse?
No. I think if we have the appropriate leadership and leadership that is clued in, I think we can reverse the trend. Nigeria is a large market. And Nigeria is a place where a lot of investment can come. If Nigeria is getting its act right, then the oil market, you understand, where a lot of people are running away from the Russians, you understand, they would come to Nigeria. So we have opportunities, but it needs to be exploited by people who know what they're doing.
All right, thank you, Professor Ajadokun, for being on the show this morning. We'll return tomorrow morning at 6:30. My name is DELE ADEYANJU. Happy Thursday to you.
My name is Kenny DUROTILU. The Smart Kid Show is up next. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the guest analyst and do not necessarily reflect the recommendations or perspectives of 32 FM 94.9 Ibadan.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.